Hey folks, welcome back, and we're gonna, I guess, end off the first wave of deluxes for the Fall of Cybertron waves that came out a few years ago. I'm doing these now because we just heard about the, I guess you'd call it a re-release of the game coming out on systems, and this guy, when I saw him, he pulled me right in. It's because I'm so pretty. No, Shockwave. I don't think it's because you're pretty.
Well, you know what they say.
What do they say?
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Get it?
Oh, good grief. Shockwave, don't give up your day job. You just keep being a planet commander that's emotionless and logical, because stand-up comedy, not in your future, my friend. Not in your future. Okay, welcome back to the channel. This is your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot, and as always, check me out everywhere, please. And we're going to look at this guy, and like I said, he pulled me in. He pulled me in because at the time, I guess I had been away from collecting for a little while. I'd gotten into a little bit of the movie stuff. I kind of moved away from the franchise for a bit, and I saw the FOC Jazz and the FOC Optimist, and I was like, they're okay. And I saw this guy in deluxe class and really thought they actually captured Shockwave in that size class well. Now some people are going to give me flack, I'm sure, for saying that, but I felt like they did. We're going to talk about this guy through the means that we always talk about these guys. Let's start with his paint apps. He's a beautiful purple. I actually am not usually a fan of translucent plastic, but it matches on his chest. The light piping is gorgeous on this guy. Now, it would have been nice if that was yellow, but I still kind of dig it. The head sculpt is extremely Shockwave. There's no doubt about it. His cannon is certainly different from what we're used to, but it's okay. I wish it was a little sturdier, because on my version, this likes to come off a lot. Now, you still have a three-barreled cannon, and that's pretty cool. It's okay. I always leave this on. If you take it off, he actually does have two hands, which I guess that's pretty cool too. Now you can also take it off of his arm and put it in his hand if you want. Okay, so his hand, comes out like this, and you can take the gun and you can put it over his hand. It will, he can hold onto it like this. And when I first saw that, I thought, well, that's kind of disappointing, but you can take that off and you can fold his arm in, and then there's a horizontal tab here, and there is a there's a horizontal hole here, and there's a horizontal tab here, and you can take that and put it on over just like so. I done the like so again, and it looks pretty good. Obviously, it's a departure from G1, but I'm okay with that because there's enough here to still harken back to that character. However, I will point out that this is a figure that I think is very telling of what the future of Transformers would become. I think he's very telling for a couple of reasons. One, because he is certainly a part of that, smaller wave of deluxes. And something that a lot of people have complained about that I don't care about is, man, he has a lot of hollow bits, especially on the inside of his legs. And I that's something that we've seen a lot of since then. it doesn't really bother me. His legs are a little thin and spindly. It'd be nice if they were a bit thicker, but it kind of matches him because he's sort of a weird character anyway. So we will take that gun off for now because we know how his cannon is, and there's beautiful purple there too that light passes through, translucent plastic. So paint apps for this guy, 9.5. Honestly, outside of his eye, his colors are Shockwave, so I'm going to say 9.5. Posability, playability. Well, when he's in his vehicle mode, and I use that term very loosely with this guy, he hovers, flies, whatever he does it fine. In this mode, the arms can go way out. There is, a shoulder. It can't really go all the way around because of these wing pieces. They kind of get in the way, but I mean, well, I suppose it can go all the way around if you want to move the wing piece out of the way, and the wing piece does move. If you really want to, I mean, you could even leave them down behind him. Some people prefer that and think it looks a little bit more like the G1 silhouette. I like them up just because I think it looks cool. The head goes left and right, doesn't really look up or down. I think that's because of transformation. The legs, they can splay way out to the side. They can go all the way back. There's a deep knee bend. It's certainly 90 degrees. The feet, the toes tilt. I guess if you want to, that's for transformation, but I guess you could say it's a point of articulation. There's a thigh swivel. And there's a bicep swivel, and the hands, again, because of transformation, they can kind of go in and out. There is no waist articulation. So posability, playability, because things don't really get in the way with this guy, I think it's pretty good. You're missing a couple of key points, but it's pretty good. So, his colors I gave a 9 to. His posability, playability, I'm giving it 8.5 to. Now we get into transformation. And again, the transformation for this guy, not too bad. Not too bad. One part that I guess I worry about in terms of longevity, but not too bad. So, to begin, you take off his gun to begin, and you point the toes out. Pretty simple so far. Where do you go next? And it's been a while since I did this guy. I have to be honest. It has been a while since I did this guy. You unpeg his shoulders next. And, they kind of come down for now. You pick up his body mass. You unpeg it and pick up his body mass, and you need to bring it all the way over. Now, when you bring it over, however, you're going to say, wait, his head's in the way. Well, his head pushes down, and you bring it all the way down. You take this gun piece, I guess, before you bring it down, and there's a little tab up right here, and a little slot right there. If I can show, if you can even see it. And that tabs in there, like that. The legs will come together. Oh, actually, I guess before you bring the legs together, you might want to turn that piece around. In other words, you're taking it from his shin, we'll call it, to the upper thigh. Now you want to take the legs and tab them together, and the whole gun piece kind of gets held into place. Bring the body down, just like that. The wing sections, they fold out like that. Now, those shoulders that you brought down earlier, you bring those all the way up. When you bring them up, you need to turn the shoulder so that I guess the shoulder is, the pin is facing here, and the shoulder is facing upward. fold in the hands and turn the arms so that the flat part of the arm is what's facing each other. You want to bring these arm pieces up. Now there's a little black tab right here. It goes into a slot up right here. Another little black tab right here goes up into a slot right here. And as you do that, you're also going to end up bringing the arms together and they tab together. So you bring that up and you tab it in. You bring this up and it should also tab in. Sometimes it helps if you put the arms together first. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. There you go. And in the end, there you go. The hardest part with this guy is tabbing those two arm pieces in there, and they're, I guess, thrusters for whatever this is. I don't know what this is. It's not a huge cannon. I guess it's some sort of a hover battleship thing. Now, if this was any other Transformer, that would really bother me, that I don't know what this is. That it's really weird and outlandish. If Shockwave isn't going to be a gun, most of the time he ends up being a tank. And, yeah, that's okay. But, honestly, if he's not going to be, you know, a full-fledged gun, I'd rather he kind of be like a flying sort of battle thing. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a hard transformation. It's just those two hands you got to know what to do. Everything else, pretty easy. So, overall for this guy, you know, how is he? Well, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put him back in robot mode just to do a little comparison with a modern day that I didn't do earlier. Kind of like happened with Jazz. And I'll talk about my overall score for this guy now. You'll see, because I'm not going to focus on transformation going back, but you'll see just how quick and easy it is. Shockwave has exceptional coloring. By the way, a little bit of auto transformation there. When you bring the body back around and push it down, the head pops up. This was what I was concerned about, because I feel like eventually that spring might give out. It hasn't given out on me in years now, but you know, I'm not transforming him all the time either. Anyway, his color is good, his look is good, and I think all of that is fantastic. The transformation is easy. I would give the transformation probably a 9. Probably a 9 for its transformation. You know, overall score for Shockwave is probably an 8. His weaknesses come in the fact that he's the birth of this hollow plastic, and a lot of people have a problem with him being a deluxe size instead of a Voyager size. I don't have a problem with that. I don't really feel like he should be a Voyager size, but, you know, to each their own. And well, that just fell off. But, you know, you can see he's back here now in robot mode. By the way, once this thing falls off sometimes, it can be a bit of a nuisance on mine to put back on. I don't think that that's I don't think that's a running issue. I think that's just my issue. There we go. But you can see how quickly now he's, you know, back in robot mode. So here he is. Okay, and here he is compared with our good buddy Off-Road. And, you know, they scale well. They scale well. Or I think they scale well. Anybody who thinks that Shockwave should be a Voyager is going to say, no, they don't scale well. But I think they do. I feel like that this makes sense for me. Scale is, you know, I done a video on it, but scale is one of those issues that's very subjective. Very subjective. Anyway, should you hunt this guy down? Why not? He's a great Shockwave. If you don't mind him being a deluxe size, he's pretty much the go-to. If you want him to be bigger, well, you know, it is what it is. I like him. There you go. I like him. I think he was an excellent addition to the modern day, I guess, Transformers collection for a child collector. And if you have him, hopefully you enjoy him too. If you don't have him and you do end up getting him, well, hopefully you'll enjoy him as well. Anyway, that's it. That's it. I think he's beautiful. I think he's creepy. I think he's beautiful, creepy. And that about says it all for Shockwave. So I'm going to cut it off there. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day, out of your schedule, and out of your life to spend it here with me and have a visit. And I look forward to the next time that we get together for a little chat right here inside the videos.